3 consecutive. Thanks for your participation. Mercilessly broke Lu Zhou's illusion, and he instantly sobered up. He had accumulated 8 luck points. Forget it. I'm giving up on this lucky draw. Poor Ming-Shi. The merit points he earned from me from disciplining Old Eighth are almost completely spent by me. At this moment, little Yuan came running in from outside. Master, Duan Mu Sheng, and Zhao Yu followed closely behind her. Lu Zhou closed the system dashboard and asked calmly, "What's the matter?" "Jiang Aijian has sent word that Wei Zhuyan has sent about 3,000 men to our mountain. They've already passed Anyang," Liu Yuan said. Duan Mu Sheng snorted and said, "This Wei Zhuyan can't tell bad from good. It's bad enough that he's unwilling to admit his guilt, but he even dares to send soldiers here. Master, grant me permission to descend the mountain and fight with them. I want to kill all of them." Zhao Yu chimed in, "I concur." When little Yuan saw how decisive her seniors were, she quickly said, "I wanted to send a mountain as well." Lu Zhou waved his hand and said, "I think Wei Zhuyan has properly thought this out since he's bold enough to send so many men to the Golden Court Mountain." "Master, is it possible Wei Zhuyan is stronger than the 10 great elites?" Little Yuan asked skeptically. Lu Zhou said indifferently, "This has nothing to do with their strength. I won't even consider them as worthy opponents, even if they send 10,000 men here, let alone 3,000. Zhao Yu bowed and asked, "Master, are you saying these people aren't here to fight?" Duan Mu Sheng said with a nod, "Indeed, there's a possibility of that." At this moment, a female cultivator walked in slowly and bowed before she said, "Pavilion Master, Mr. Fourth has returned." "Let him in." A short while later, Ming-Shi sauntered into the great hall. "Master, I've gone to Tiger Ridge and gave that rascal, Zhu Honggong, an earful. Also, I met Old Seventh at Tiger Ridge. He promised to unlock the box. I'll be retrieving it in 7 days." "All right," Lu Zhou replied calmly. Ming-Shi continued, "Master, do you want to bring Old Eight back the next time?" Lu Zhou shook his head and said, "Old Seventh and Old Eighth are close. If we capture Old Eighth, we'll lose our connection to Old Seventh. Old Seventh is a cunning character. We should leave Old Eighth be for now." "That's brilliant, Master," Ming-Shi said with a bow. Lu Zhou looked at Ming-Shi and asked, "You met Old Seventh?" Ming-Shi nodded. "Old Seventh's schemes run too deep. I don't understand what he's after. Although he's no longer in the Evil Sky Pavilion, I'm still his senior brother. I told him to use his peacock plume. All we need now are eldest senior brother and second senior brother's weapons. With Old Seventh's methods, I'm sure there won't be a problem." Lu Zhou shook his head slightly. "These rascals are only coveting the treasure in the box. That box is extremely mysterious and can't be forced open. With the final key, the amorous hoop, in your hands, Master, they won't be able to get their hands on whatever is in the box." Lu Zhou had already thought about this. Knowing Si Wuya Old Seventh, he would never leave a treasure box like this alone. Many people knew about the treasures in the Evil Sky Pavilion. The cultivators under the heavens would never notice if there were an addition or removal of a single treasure. Rather than leaving the treasure inside the box forever, it would be better for it to be opened. Nobody could stop the 9 disciples from possessing the treasures without elaborate plans. "Let's put the matter of the box aside for now," Lu Zhou said with a wave of his hand. "Master, this is my cultivation method that I've written down. Please inspect it." Little Yuan quickly placed her copy on the table before Lu Zhou. This situation made Lu Zhou look like an old instructor in an ancient private school. Little Yuan was one of the students whose works were pending his approval. Lu Zhou skimmed through the small booklet. The supreme purity jade slip emphasized on connecting the body's motions with one's fists. The cultivator would, through his unyielding hard work, channel primal chi from surroundings into his own body and improve his cultivation base through this cultivation process. This cultivation process was highly favored by nature. It was a most profound cultivation method. Fortunately, Lu Zhou's memories contained the mnemonic chants and chi channeling technique of this cultivation method. He was also very familiar with it. All he needed was a single glance, and he could see where it was lacking. Zhou frowned slightly. Grab a brush. Yes, master. Little Yuan quickly prepared the 4 treasures of the study and laid them out before Zhou. Zhou dipped the brush in some ink and began writing. He filled up the parts that were lacking in the Supreme Purity Jade slip. His disciples looked on nervously. They dared not say anything. They merely watched silently from the sides. Zhou counted about 10 missing crucial sentences in the cultivation method when he filled up the missing parts. He was even more surprised. This was because little Yuan actually managed to cultivate the missing parts with her own talents. The more remarkable feat was that she did not descend into depravity because of the missing parts. Yuan. Yes, master. I've improved and completed your cultivation method. You'll cultivate according to these guidelines from now on, Zhou said calmly. Little Yuan was overjoyed to hear this. Thank you, master. I won't let you down. I'll enter the nascent divinity tribulation realm as soon as I can. She received the completed Supreme Purity Jade slip respectfully before she hurried aside and began poring over the text. When Ming Shi saw this, he hastily said, I'll go and write down my cultivation method now. He would not let this opportunity slip through his fingers. One of the biggest reasons why he Duanmu Sheng and Zhao Yu did not leave the Evil Sky Pavilion back then was due to them being limited by their cultivation methods. Now that his master was willing to help him improve, he was naturally excited. This is my Divine One technique. Duanmu Sheng presented his cultivation method with both hands. This is my brilliant jade technique. Zhao Yu placed her copy on the table as well. There aren't many omissions in the Divine One technique. It's only lacking a few sentences. Zhou browsed through it and filled in where necessary. However, the brilliant jade technique was lacking in its crucial parts. The brilliant jade technique was a proper peak heart technique. It was a cultivation method with profound power. When it was activated, the cultivator's skin would become as translucent as jade. Its power was not unleashed outside, but accumulated inside instead. While it was activated, the cultivators would not need to expend their own internal strength, but were able to increase their power. In this way, they could use the technique without having to rest at all. Their source of strength will be practically endless. After muttering to himself for a while, Zhou completed the brilliant jade technique. Discard the concept of one and the other. Merge with the outside world. When you immerse yourself completely, you'll attain the flexible nirvana. This is the final mantra of the brilliant jade technique. Zhao Yu. Yes, master. You're not completely healed yet. You should put off cultivating this for now. Zhou said calmly. Yes, master. Ding. Completed the Supreme Purity Jade slip. Reward, 200 merit points. Ding. Completed the Divine One technique. Reward, 200 merit points. Ding. Completed the Brilliant Jade technique. Reward, 200 merit points. Zhou was slightly surprised to hear the system's notifications. When Ji Tiandao taught his disciples their cultivation methods, he withheld many details from them. Apart from suppressing their cultivation bases, he also restricted their possessions of weapons. Zhou's disciples were, naturally, shocked when they saw he was no longer suppressing their strength or deliberately hindering their cultivation progress. After completing the cultivation methods, Zhou placed the brush down. He stroked his beard and said, I've completed your cultivation methods. Don't disappoint me after this. The 3 disciples kneeled in unison. We won't let you down, master. Meanwhile, in the divine capital, an imperial family's flying chariot rose slowly from the divine capital's Prince Chi's mansion. The flying chariot was surrounded by many cultivators on all sides. They formed an extensive and square formation around it. The flag of Prince Chi's mansion fluttered in the air as the flying chariot flew away from the divine capital. When he saw this, Si Wuya smiled faintly. Eldest senior brother is certainly skilled and bold. I didn't think he'd actually go to Prince Chi's mansion. Sect Master, should we give chase? No need. Wait here. Understood. Si Wuya walked on air. He made his way to the huge flying chariot with a mysterious box in his hand. The flying chariot was massive. Usually, flying chariots were built with an emphasis on a display of magnificence and comfort. Speed-wise, it was not the swiftest means of transport. Siwia had no trouble catching up to it. The people in the divine capital were used to seeing the imperial family's flying chariot in the skies. A middle-aged man dressed in black robes with a chiseled face stood at the front of the flying chariot. He surveyed the lands below him. A female subordinate standing next to him said with a bow, "Sectmaster, it'll take us 6 hours to reach Pingdom Mountain from the divine capital. You should get some rest." The middle-aged man pointed at the divine capital and said, "It's been a while since I left Pingdom Mountain. Let me indulge in the scenery of the rivers and mountains." "Understood. It's only when you're standing on this flying chariot that you'll feel compelled to take this all in. If you stand at the top, even the divine capital will be beneath your feet," the middle-aged man said slowly. "You're right, Sectmaster. Forget it. You're boring," he said as he thought to himself. "No matter what I say to them, they'll just bow and agree. None of them have an opinion of their own. This is dull." "Sectmaster, someone's approaching us." A voice from nearby rang in the air. The middle-aged man shook his head indifferently. "Kill him. This man has a profound cultivation base. He says that you will certainly meet him." "Interesting." The middle-aged man walked to the other side of the flying chariot with his hands on his back. He saw a man with a mysterious box who was surrounded by his guards. 5 of the middle-aged man's guards hovered around the flying chariot as they guarded against the newcomers. "Eldest senior brother, long time no see." Siwia projected his voice. "Let him in." "Understood." The 5 great protectors moved aside. Siwia arrived at the flying chariot, safely with swift movements. "Greetings, eldest senior brother." Siwia waved his arm casually, and the mysterious box landed on the flying chariot slowly. He bowed toward the middle-aged man. This middle-aged man was none other than the first disciple of the Evil Sky Pavilion, Yu Zhenghai. He was the master of the Nether sect. Yu Zhenghai glanced at Siwia and said, "You strike me as a busy man. Why do you have the time to visit me in the divine capital today?" "You're joking, eldest senior brother. I can't really say the Darknet is giving me many things to do. You, on the other hand, went to the trouble of traveling long distance. You left Pingdom Mountain and personally visited Prince Chi's mansion," Siwia said. 2 subordinates quickly prepared 2 chairs on the flying chariot's deck. Yu Zhenghai motioned for Siwia to take a seat. "Your second senior brother killed one of my men. If I don't personally come here, know his temper, I'm afraid that I'll lose more men." When Yu Zhenghai mentioned Yu Shangrong, there was a sharp edge to his voice. "Please calm down, eldest senior brother. He killed Sword Frichen Wenjie because he aligned himself with the Nether sect on the surface, but he was secretly colluding with the Yun, Tian, and Luo sects. Second senior brother helped you eliminate a mole from your ranks. It's a good thing," Siwia said. Yu Zhenghai said indifferently, "I'm aware of Chun Wenjie's background. He was but a pawn. At the very least, I could openly restrict the Clarity sect's elites. Although your second senior brother is an amicable person, he's stupid. His mind is far too simple. He'll never be able to figure out my thoughts." "You're right, eldest senior brother," Siwia said with a smile. "Old Seventh, let me ask you something." "Ask away, eldest senior brother." "I'll tell you anything and everything I know," Siwia said good-naturedly. "You've always been able to see the bigger picture. Do you think that your second senior brother is right?" Yu Zhenghai asked. "Second senior brother is wrong," Siwia said with a straight face. "You have a unique view on things, seventh junior brother." Yu Zhenghai's face displayed a rare, gleeful expression. He continued, "If I decide to flatten the divine capital, what will you do?" "I'll fully support you." Yu Zhenghai laughed heartily and said, "You know me well, junior brother Wuya. Second senior brother has something he wants me to tell you. He said that he has no intention of meddling in your affairs, but he said it's best if you don't meddle in his as well," Siwia said, passing on the message in its entirety. "He's still the same," Yu Zhenghai shook his head. "Forget about him, now that my junior brother Wuya is here. Let's not ruin the occasion. Bring us some wine. The two subordinates behind him hastily went to fetch some wine and prepared the table. Si Wuya was speechless. However, he knew his eldest senior brother liked to drink. It would not be in his favor to reject his eldest senior brother. After 3 cups of wine, Yu Zhenghai said calmly, 7 junior brother, what brings you here? Si Wuya placed his wine cup down and pointed at the box beside him. Master's box.